What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be predicting the Houston Texans schedule. So this team beat Buffalo in the playoffs in the wild card and then went to Kansas City and choked a 24-point lead. It is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever seen in my life. During their offseason, they traded DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson for some reason. Maybe one of the dumbest things I've ever seen in my life. Now, I don't know if this team is going to be good or bad next season. I know that they'll probably make the playoffs, but I do not know if they're going to win their division. So, let's look at their schedule and let's get to it. So, starting with the away games they play at Chicago. And I do believe the Texans are going to get this win. I do not think this should be a hard game for the Texans to win. Pretty easy. I think the Bears could pose a threat to the Texans, but the Bears just aren't in the right place right now. And I'm going to give the Texans the W. So the next game they play is at Cleveland. And surprisingly, I'm going to give the Browns the W. So I do not think the Browns are good. I think they're one of the most garbage teams in the league. Like, there's no talent there. Baker Mayfield's trash. But at the same time, I do believe Cleveland isn't going to be that bad. And I think they're going to have some good home games next season. And one of those home games is going to be against the Texans. And the Texans are going to lose to the Browns. So the next away game they have is at Detroit. And this game can go either way. I think Detroit is going to be a little better next season. Matt Stafford was injured, I think he was injured 75% of the season, missed all those games. And the Lions ended up with a really bad record. But they were looking promising before Stafford was injured. And this game is 50-50. But I'm going to have to give the Lions the W. This surprises me, in my opinion. I don't think the Lions are good. I just think the Texans aren't going to be good enough to win this game anymore. Because they're choking hazards. The Lions are going to be better. So, the next away game they have is at Indianapolis, and I do not think this game will be difficult for the Texans. It might be a little harder than playing them at home later in the season, but I do believe the Colts, I don't have any trust in them. I don't think Philip Rivers is good. Just because you win 5 games and then sign with another team doesn't mean you're good at Philip Rivers, really? So, this dude's choking hazard, easy win for the Texans. So the next away game they have, another very easy game at Jacksonville. Easy win, no doubt about it. I can't see Jacksonville winning games this next season, really. So easy win for the Texans, no doubt about it. The next away game, nightmares. At Kansas City. And I'm obviously going to give the Chiefs the win. No doubt about it. That game was looking like a shutout until, 28 points in the quarter, ending up with 54, 56 points at the end of the game. Mahomes is not going to lose to the Texans ever again in his career. Easy win for the Chiefs. So the next away game going to be a good one at Pittsburgh. I do believe the Steelers are going to win this game by 10, 20 points. I do say this because they got more Watts on their team. 2 versus 1. J.J. Watt's probably going to get traded to the Steelers later in the season. We might see that. But seriously, I believe the Steelers' offense is going to be a lot better next season. You can watch my Steelers prediction video, my Steelers Super Bowl video. I explain it really, really good there. If you don't believe me, I think Pittsburgh's going to get this 20-point victory. And the last home game of the season is at Tennessee. And I do believe it's going to be a good game. I'm going to have to give the Texans the W. So I do believe, I predicted this in my Tennessee video. I do believe these teams will split the series. Kind of just spoiled the ending, but whatever. So it doesn't really matter where these games are played at. All that matters is that I think Tennessee's going to be ahead of the Texans later in the season, and they're going to have to clutch out a W to compete for the division, and they're going to get the W but fall short for the division win. So I'm going to give the Texans the win. So starting at home, they are actually very, very lucky. Looking at all their home games, these are against really good teams. So it's actually very favorable for them to win those games. So not being one of those good teams, they play the Indianapolis Colts. Easy win, no doubt about it. Can't see any other way. And obviously next, Jacksonville Jaguars. Easy win. Jacksonville, I don't even know how they're going to compete in the league with a dude with the mustache. Leonard Fournette's on the trading block. They got nothing there. How do you rebuild when you get rid of every player you've ever known? I don't understand. So next they play at home against Tennessee. I've already said this earlier. I think they're going to split the series, meaning the Texans are going to lose this game. We saw this in the season, the 2019 season. And I think the Tennessee Titans are going to be really good. But the Texans are going to lose this game. The Titans win this game easy. So they play Baltimore at home. And, oh man, I hate Baltimore. But Baltimore literally shut out the Texans last season. I'm going to have to give the Baltimore Ravens the W. I do not like the Ravens at all. I hate them, but I'm not going to lie. It's probably going to be a really easy win for the Ravens. Wouldn't be surprised if the Texans pull off the win, but I would be. Next, they play one of the easiest games besides Jacksonville against Cincinnati. The Bengals are trash. I don't know who they're going to draft. Maybe they're going to trade their draft pick. We'll see next week. But the Texans are going to easily win this game, no doubt about it. And the last 3 games on this home stretch are against decent teams. And luckily for them, they are at home. So starting with Green Bay, I do believe the Texans are going to win this game. I do not like the Packers. I'm just kidding. I don't have anything against the Packers, I meant to say. But I do not like the Packers on the road anywhere this season. It's just the fact that they'll just probably beat any team at home, besides the 49ers, of course. But when they go on the road and play a good team, they look like the Cleveland Browns of 2017. It's embarrassing. So yeah, I'm going to have to give the Texans a W. And the next home game they have is against Minnesota Vikings. And like the Packers, both NFC North teams, I'm going to have to give the Texans the W. So I do say this because it is at home. I think Minnesota has lost talent. Obviously they did with Stephon Diggs, but I think that team isn't going to be good enough to beat better teams on the road. And the Texans are going to get the win. In their last home game of the season against New England, I've said this in my Patriots video, I don't think the Patriots are going to be good. And especially seeing that they got destroyed by the Texans last year, I'm expecting it to happen again. Easy win for the Texans, probably 20-point victory. No doubt about it. So, I have not been keeping count of the record, but it's on the screen in front of you. And just to recap, win at Chicago, loss at Cleveland, loss at Detroit, win at Indianapolis, win at Jacksonville, lose at Kansas City, lose at Pittsburgh, win at Tennessee, win at home against the Colts, win against the Jaguars, lose against the Titans, lose against the Ravens, beat the Bengals, beat the Packers, beat the Vikings, beat the Patriots. So I believe that's 5 or 6 losses. Not a bad record. Wild card for them. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Adios.